So how do we interpret the results? So the question is, what is a normal venous pressure? And the answer is actually, we don't really know. So we take these absolute measurements from the venous sinus, and really what we look at is the gradient. And the thought is that a normal pressure in these small studies is between 16 and 18 in the superior sagittal sinus, and a gradient is between 0 and 3 in normal patients. However, we really don't know what's normal and what influences the gradients and the absolute pressure. And so there's actually a current prospective clinical trial measuring normal venous sinus pressures. What we do know is when things seem really pathologically high. And so the gradient threshold for stenting is actually a little bit controversial. I think most of us use a gradient between 8 and 10, and the basis for this cutoff seems to be derived from the experience of skull-base surgery, where Spetzler described, safely sacrificing a sinus if the sinus pressure at the time of temporary occlusion was less than 10. And so people have used 8 and 10, but it's actually pretty heterogeneous in the literature. So there's a number of studies where people used even lower gradients of 4 and found that they had 92% or 83% success in improvement of symptoms. This was a study where they used gradients even less than 4 in 9 patients and found that all patients improved. And then this was a systematic review, which was a little bit larger, where again, the threshold of 8 was used, but the average gradient was actually much greater, 18.5, and they found 87% improvement in symptoms. And then this was a more recent review looking at 186 patients, and they actually suggested a gradient of 21, which seems significantly higher than I've seen used by most practitioners. But they saw a difference in gradient between 21 versus 18, where 21 had 94% success, whereas patients with the gradient of 18 was closer to 83% success.